Well, we are at Akard, Commutator, Tennessee. Mike Akard, good friend, customer, GT4 owner, racer for ages, ever since I've been doing this. And basically he's out of town, but gave us the keys to everything. And we are gonna work on a race car. So, man, what an awesome deal. Amazing hospitality. Mike is good peeps. And this is the shop we get to work in. E30 hanging on the wall. Mike's GT4, which he said, take whatever we need out of that. We're gonna leave that thing alone. Little piece of BimmerWorld history up on the wall, as well as a bunch of other race car parts from Mike's racing through the years. Piles of tires, slicks. This looks like a race shop.
I'm just kidding. You got it.
Oh, Phil Wurs.
We made it. We're gonna save this thing.
Oh gosh. Phil from BimmerWorld drove up with Dave, who's currently under the car. Hello. And car's been on the lift for about 5 minutes and the guys are going to town. Oh, hey. There's another Mike Akard race car. So we are in good hands. These guys are taking care of business. I think Evan and I might get some sleep. That's probably our...
Yeah, I would love to believe that I'm helpful to this situation, but both Dave and Phil have politely said, please don't touch anything. And we don't need you to hold the flashlight. So we might go to sleep.
You sure?
We're good. Evan and James checking in here. It's midnight. We are driving around in Mike Akard's single cab Chevy, listening to 80s music, and we're on track in Nashville in about 8 hours. James, what's on your mind?
Well, it's actually 9 hours and maybe even 9.5 hours because we gained that hour in the time zone shift. The first thing that's on my mind is, wow, Mike Akard, what a dude. This is absolutely amazing. He's out of town. He arranged our flatbed tow. He opened his shop and let us take over, and anything, we're going to his mom's house where we have full control and showers, bed, etc. Wow. What an amazing bit of hospitality that is. It's
yeah, this night took an unexpected turn for the better. Hopefully we'll be in a different car a few hours from now, but Phil and Dave from BimmerWorld are on the job, two of the best, working fast. They seem to think it's possible. We're still hoping we know what the actual issue is and that this is going to fix it, but as far as heroic efforts go, at least it's fun to see this potentially working out.
Yeah, those guys kill it. Drove 4 hours from BimmerWorld. Transmission, clutches. So the quick rundown is, we don't know what exactly happened, but we feel like in testing in VIR last weekend before last, we had a failure of a flywheel, and we think we got some metal in there, and there's apparently some pretty strong magnets in the system, and I think we just wreaked havoc with the clutches. So our clutches were running about 425C or above 425C. We assume they just essentially welded themselves together into a large mass, but we've got all the new stuff. We had it in stock at BimmerWorld, so thanks Phil Nugent for purchasing the stuff.
I gotta say, this has been an amazing example of the racing community coming together. James and I spent 2 hours in this tow truck with our phones, just both phones blowing up. All different people from BMW Club Racing, from NASA, from One Lap of America. Hey, how can I help? What can I do? I'll drop everything. Do you need me to go to the shop and pick things up? We're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you're talking about like 6 hours of driving for yourself. You're like, well, I'll do it if it helps. I'll do it if it helps. If you need to call me, it's like, okay. I mean, just unbelievable support from everybody trying to get this car back in action. So thanks to everybody who has reached out. Hopefully we're good to go here, but we'll check in again soon one way or another.
3 hours later.
Well, me and Dave seemingly have wrapped this thing up, but guess what? The slackers, Evan and James, didn't answer my call and I guess are still asleep. So I'm going to keep driving this thing around a little bit to break it in and see if they wake up. It's about 4 a.m. Maybe I already said that. I'm a little tired. But heading back to go tell Dave that's a successful drive so far, and hope that Evan and James can continue on their journey.
It is 4:30 a.m., 4:45 a.m.
5:05.
5:05 a.m.
One of those AMs.
After Evan and I got a couple hours of sleep, Phil and Dave did not. They're making the magic happen. We'll see how much magic they have. I'd like to drive.
Dude, you didn't want to shift? Well, we're back on the road. We've got our earplugs in. We're headed to Buc-ee's.
We finally had to give up. This thing is ridiculous. It's the street version of the BimmerWorld race exhaust for this car, catalytic converters and all that because EPA, but not quiet and no trunk, crushing us. So anyway, massive gas station. In Texas at least they have brisket on tap, so we'll see if that's the deal here. I'm excited.
James, we're going to be able to find a pump?
I'm gonna circle around a couple times, see if I can come up with something.
Anyways, we're pretty excited to be back on the road. It's been about an hour into the trip. The car feels great. I think we may not only be repaired, but have realized that we had an issue this whole time. Not trying to get our hopes up too much, but we're gonna make Nashville on time, it appears, and see what we got.
Evan is my favorite pessimist. Clearly a pessimist.
Realist.
Boy, Texas Roundup. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
In the fudge section of Buc-ee's. I think it's going to be brisket tacos this morning. Texas barbecue. I think we'll test that out tonight.
This place is magical. I don't even know what to do. Got brisket tacos, bacon, sausage, rhino, hippo.
They're made right here.
Thinking brisket taco.
Brisket taco.
Brisket taco.
Nashville Superspeedway.
Greetings.
Greetings. So, yeah, we're a little dead tonight. It's been a night.
It's been a night.
Yep.
We made it here. We got a couple hours sleep on the couch. Thank you, Mike Akard. Got the car running, we think. Thank you, Dave and Phil. Never been here. Love a Roval. I think they're all usually a little bit similar. Got a chance to scooter around the track this morning. It looks pretty straightforward. It's real fast on the outside and real tight on the inside. So it's going to be a good test of cars and sort of fully what everybody's got across the spectrum. It's drying fast. I think we're going to be dry. We're going to be probably the second or third group today. Yeah, see how it goes. You know, we may need to make some car setup changes. We're going to run this first session with the same thing we had at Road Atlanta, and then see if we want to change anything for the afternoon. But I think we're both just happy to be here at this point.
Thrilled. Yeah, the BimmerWorld guys did an amazing job. Cars are rolling. Time to see if this thing holds together. Whew. Good times. Yeah, so Evan just out of the car. How was it?
It was okay. It was a ton of fun. New track is always super fun. This place is tighter than it looks. And you know, I talked to James about this a couple days ago when we were talking about tracks and doing all this. You know, we go out and we walk the tracks. We haven't seen them. We're only gonna get 3 laps. I rode a scooter around it. I know in my heart, in my mind, that when you do that, it looks bigger than it is. You get out there in a car going 100 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it is way smaller than it looked when you're standing there. I mean, full disclosure, on my warm-up lap, thankfully it doesn't count, I went into one of the corners I knew was sharp first, and like, I saw the corner, the road was just ending. I was like, okay, well hopefully the grass is smooth, and it is. And so, you know, no harm, no foul, but came up to the start line, and just the entire place, it looks like it would be this Superspeedway, right? I was expecting to be going 160, 170 miles an hour around a banking. This car will kick the tail out anywhere on the banking until you got to be into 5th gear before it feels safe. The transitions are wild. It really throws the cars. I think to some degree the little bit of a softer car, the street car, is not hurting us so much here. There's a lot of stuff where you need a little compliance on the transitions from the infield track to the oval are brutal. Both coming up onto it and coming down, into turn 1, it hits hard. And so the car's dampers feel really good. Having a little softness in the springs and everything, I think is probably saving me there. A couple saves that I didn't want to have to make. And so I need to think hard on this afternoon, what I need to change. This feels the opposite of yesterday. At Road Atlanta, I got out of the car and I was like, man, I'm doing great, and this car is a challenge for me. I got out here, and I'm like, I think the car had a whole lot more in it, and I have no clue what I'm doing. So, different goals, right? Yesterday it was like, what can we do to improve our odds here with the car? Today, I need to think hard on how I want to drive differently this afternoon.
So we may have mentioned it before, but from a technical side, we've softened this thing up a little bit. We know that in these next events, and thanks to that Optima stuff we've done recently, autocross, a stiffly sprung car is just terrible, or at the level that we would want. We had over 1,000-pound springs for running these big wide open tracks, VIR, Watkins, Road Atlanta, that kind of stuff. That probably played into, so we've dropped the spring rate. We've dropped a couple hundred to 250 out of it, and that probably played into that loose feeling that we had. not loose feeling, just soft feeling, overly compliant feeling, which is crazy for with an 800, 900 pound spring for the car to just feel soft and compliant, like overly compliant. That's wild. But it's, I think maybe in this tight section on the infield, that's good here. Maybe on that Superspeedway part of it, they say Superspeedway. I mean, I can see all the way around this track. It's not Daytona. It's not that kind of speedway. And it's maybe we'd want a little bit more of that stiff spring. The transitions, maybe the softness helps on that. One of the things that we've been keeping an eye on over this trip is that splitter. So we've got the GTMore splitter. That thing extends far. It's down to the ground. It's doing work, but we were concerned about the transits. So, would we want this thing on a street car driving thousands of miles? So far, so good. And it's got rub blocks on the bottom, big, thick rub blocks. And so I'm sure as you transition, you may be getting into those. Are you seeing the rub blocks?
I don't think it's getting them here. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a little grass on them if we were to peek underneath. But no, I don't think we are. Honestly, the car's been pretty good on height all around. And like James mentioned, we have raised it up for some of the transits, although we've also left it for a transit or two. I don't think we've hit much, so that's been great to have and not so much of a problem. I don't know that I would actually put that big of a splitter on a daily driver, but for a track car, I mean, having this aero is huge, and if you can get away with it and it not be a problem for occasional street use, I don't see why not. Actually, it's doing a lot out here. I think I saw 155 on the aim when I came in. I mean, that's, any track you're going that fast, there's a huge amount of aerodynamics at play. So I'm sure that's doing a lot for us.
So the format, as always, it's the morning run session. All the cars in the field run. We're early in the group. So far, so good. We'll have lunch, do a pause, and then go back out for our second run, pack it up, go, etc. So what are you going to be working on for your second time around the track?
I need to think about that. I need to settle down, for one. I was pushing way too. Anytime you drive a car off track on the warm-up lap, you're pushing too hard. And I think I came in here thinking Charlotte Motor Speedway, Daytona, Roval. This is more of a Rockingham. It's smaller, it's scrappy, it's tight. It's a different mindset. I need to get ahead of that. For me, it's, again, a little new driving a car with lag and big turbos. James and I were just talking. I need to be predicting when I'm going to need that throttle a little further ahead of time, and getting the gas before I need it, so that the boost is coming in when I do need it. And that's all very possible. I think there's a lot of time to be found in myself.
All right. Well, that's what's going on at Nashville Superspeedway, and we'll give it another run this afternoon. Nice work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We are rolling through the afternoon session. The car is running strong. Evan Levine out there killing it. So, end of being on track, day
4?
whatever. It's Tuesday.
Competitive day 4, actual day 5.
Anyway,
Tuesday.
so we're done for the day. We're packing up. One of our challenges, we're really good at packing up.
We're really good at hanging out afterwards.
We are. That's probably a better skill.
Yeah.
We are not highly motivated to move quickly. We've got a 700-mile drive.
Show the field frantically working again. Like, notice everybody diligently scrambling away to get out of here while we stand around and make videos and talk about things and bicker at each other and so forth. I think we're having more fun, so who cares? That's what's
Day whatever, take 2.
Spent about 5 minutes telling you guys how we're not very good at getting out of here on time, only to realize that James forgot to hit record. So none of it mattered. Oh my God. All right. I just did a really rushed video recap. And the theme of it was that James had forgotten to record our first video. And so now we had to do it all over again. I can't believe I'm saying this. But as we finished the recap, he did it again and we weren't recording. I don't even know what I said. The car was great today. This BimmerWorld GTMore powered by Optima batteries. Racing here with Racing to End All-Timers, always great cause, great program. Redline Oils, Continental Tires, MCS, everybody. The car was great. I struggled a bit this morning. You know, we were pretty rushed last night fixing things. Big shout out to the BimmerWorld guys and Mike Akard for helping. We made it here just in time this morning. Super excited that we did that. It's a bit of a rush. It's a bit of a scramble. It's always hard to drive like that. That's my excuse, at least, and I'm sticking to it. But we did okay, actually. We were 13th overall, which is kind of where we've been coming in the dry tracks that we don't know. Wet is a benefit to us. Road Atlanta was awesome because I know the track. So I think we're good. I think this afternoon went much better. Had lunchtime to look at video and figure out what to do here. Results aren't in yet. We'll update that from the car because now that we've taken an extra 15 minutes talking about how slow we are getting out of here compared to everybody else, we're super behind. Awesome day. Hopefully the car's good. And tomorrow James will tackle Eagles Canyon. That's after another 700-mile drive tonight. So we're going to focus on that next and probably more to come. We're going to be deliriously tired tonight. I'm sure we will talk to you soon. It is still recording. Would you like to say anything?
I'm just so proud of myself for actually doing my job while everybody else has cleared the building. But we have a good time. We have fun. That's what it's all about.
Hey, if they gave prizes for fun, we're your winners, for sure.
But we're doing pretty well on the track too. This GTMore car, solid car, a little bit of an issue. Probably happened in testing. We're still trying to figure out exactly what happened there, but whatever. We can speculate later. We're gonna get on the road. The results will come in a little bit later. When they do, we'll chime in, or of course, check all the socials, BimmerWorld, Facebook, Instagram, etc. We'll have links below in the video, and you can find out how we did and follow along.
Back at home base after a long night, me and Dave, who refuses to be on camera, tried to get him in here. Drove down to Knoxville, 3.5 hour drive there, changed the transmission and other things in the GTMore to get it back on track. Evan is on track now, or just got off track maybe. Waiting to hear how his session went, how the car's doing. It made it to Nashville, so that's good news. But me and Dave, even though we are exhausted, could not resist going ahead and opening up the transmission that we brought back and inspecting what happened. Still not entirely sure what the cause is, but what we do know is that the inner clutches got smoked. Something happened and the plates in them are warped. The disc surfaces are just absolutely scorched. This thing apparently hit at least 425 C, so that's 800 degrees Fahrenheit in the clutch in the clutch basket area. So we'll do some more investigating to see what caused this and how we can prevent it in the future. But for now, hope that the rest of the journey for one lap goes great for the guys. Here's a closer look at the clutches that got scorched. This is supposed to be flat, and they all look like this. Is supposed to be goldish color. like these, clearly these things got absolutely smoked.
So we're driving to Texas. We're done with our track day at Nashville Superspeedway, and for Superspeedway, man, it just didn't feel like that. It was
I know that 1.3 miles is a Superspeedway.
1.3 miles, lap times just over a minute, a front straight that was hard to put the power down for the whole way, and then a super tight infield section. So I think what we've learned is maybe our car isn't so good on the super tight stuff. We didn't get to take advantage of any of the aero because the turns were too sharp. It was all second gear turns, maybe a little bit of third. And then we really didn't get to take advantage of the power because the surface didn't allow us to put the power down. And then when we finally could, it was just a super brief period of power down. So,
yeah,
but
we were real fast past start finish, and that was about it. That was a very short run. I think it was the cars that could kind of get a lot of grip and point and shoot around the smaller stuff that had a better day.
All-wheel drive cars, lighter weight cars, whatever.
Well, and the guys that chose everybody's had to make a choice on trade-offs, right? We chose a tire that was more consistent, good in the wet, going to be good for the long run. I think some people made some pretty aggressive tire choices, and this was a good day for that.
Yeah, I mean, we're on a Continental ECS02, which is, we're allowed a 200 tread wear tire. This is a 340, I believe, tread wear tire, so significantly higher tread wear. Probably that also should mean less sticky. We really are focused on wet weather performance and rain, because looking at the forecast, that seemed like a good idea. We tested the Continental Extreme Force, which is more of a larger tread block pattern. It's their 200 tread wear tire developed in conjunction with Hoosier. So I don't know. I wouldn't say we're second guessing what we chose. You always think about that, but without a doubt, it's one of those two Continentals, because both of them are fantastic. They just have different strengths. So we'd really love to see some rain. We thought we were going to see it this morning. We didn't, but we still finished, I think, 13th this morning, 14th this afternoon, which was good enough for holding on to our 4th overall. So it's a lot of rotation in the top of the field, and that keeps us up there, because it's not the same guys always finishing at the top and scoring max points on the event. And we've maintained first in class. We
actually extended over second place in class, although there's a really fast Cadillac in third place that's a little closer after.
We've got a Cadillac Blackwing that's third in class currently, that's doing really well, but we've spread our lead, but that means 5 points. It's 5 points out of 340 or something like that. So it's super, super tight for the top 3 in the luxury class. Yeah. And again, kind of just baffled how we're still holding on to 4th, given that we really aren't in a track that allows this thing to stretch its legs.
Which I think is about to change, right? If we look at where we've been so far and where we're going, Nelson Ledges was pretty tight, and Road Atlanta was a big fast car track with a lot of downforce, and we killed it there.
Did great at Road Atlanta. We were wet and killed it. 5th overall, but also some of the cars that were around us, in front of us, etc., got dry in track. So that shows the strength of that Continental ECS02 in a wet track situation. But then in the dry, we were 6th, which was honestly, in retrospect and seeing how strong some of these other cars and drivers are, that was amazingly solid for a dry weather performance. And again, the Continental has good grip. Maybe this car needs those long straights, needs those fast sweeping corners. We're going to see some of that at Eagles Canyon. Then we've got a drag race. It's an ET drag. We'll do fairly well there. We've got a bracket drag, which is going to flip everybody again, because it's just about consistency. You don't have to have the fastest car. If you can do it the same way every time, then you'll do well.
We've got Hallett coming up, which is I think a really fast track.
Yeah, pretty quick.
They play well to the downforce.
Yeah, some high speed corners. Not a lot of super long straights, but higher speed corners. So, and then NCM is fast and does have high speed corners. So maybe we're getting into our wheelhouse. We're optimistic. 4th overall, first in class, and most importantly, a car that's still running and killing it. So we had our issue with our clutches, transmission. Seems like that's something that happened in testing. We had a prototype part on there that failed. At BimmerWorld, that's what we do. We test, we break the stuff, we figure out what works, so you don't have to. So a little bit of pain on that, but thanks again, Phil Wers, who kind of is the guy behind this car that we're driving, and Dave Simpkins, 20+ year employee, not the first late night he spent with BimmerWorld. Really appreciate those guys coming out to help us, and really appreciate Mike Akard opening his shop, opening his home while he's on vacation, and doing everything he can to support us, give us a place to work, and give us everything we need to work so we can get this car back on track today, finish our journey, and we're headed west to Texas, further away from home, confident that we'll be good, I think, with the performance of the car. So that's the update for now. Hopefully it's the last update tonight. We're looking to get sleep. Hopefully nothing exciting happens that we need to talk about. Looking forward to a fun day tomorrow. Eagles Canyon in Texas.